Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson. My name is Crain. I am pleased and proud to be here as a member of your worship associate team. We humbly acknowledge and honor that we are located on the historical lands of the Eastern Cherokee and Southern Iroquois Nation. As Unitarian Universalists, we are a religious community grounded in the values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, independence, and generosity, with liberating love at the center. Doesn't that make you greatly appreciate being in this community on this day, which comes after yesterday? It does for me. All are welcome here, regardless of religious background, political persuasion, ethnicity, age, ability, sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression. If you are visiting with us today, whether in person or online, welcome. For our in-person visitors, if you'd like to stand up and introduce yourself, please allow us a moment to get a microphone to you so everyone can hear you. Do we have visitors today? Alrighty then, glad you're here. In this space, you are invited to engage with worship in ways that feel comfortable to you. You might notice that Audrey handed this to you, so just make sure that everybody has this, because we are involved with our worship in that way today too. After the service, we gather for coffee and social connection in the social room down the hallway to the left. So please join us. If you're interested in receiving our weekly newsletter or learning more about our faith and fellowship, you can reach out to the office or check out our website at uufc.org. I want to share a few announcements with you. I'm going to hold this up because I was real excited to go to the post office yesterday and to see that this was an option as one of my stamp purchases. And you might not be able to see it real clearly, but those in the back, because we're zooming in on this, it's artwork from Keith Haring, who was the artist whose artwork was appreciated for the AIDS movement. So when you go to buy your next stamps, you might want to look for this. I was real excited to see that. Thank you. There's going to be a pop-up protest at Greenville.
Pop-up.
Is that what I said?
No, I thought I heard pop-up.
That would be cool. Not potluck, pop-up. Sorry. There's a pop-up protest at Greenville City Hall tomorrow, 206 South Main Street. Tomorrow, January 5th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come join folks to make some noise in defiance of our president's action. Come if you are available to do so. For the online folks, we will not have a live stream starting next week and continuing until we can upgrade internet. The video will be uploaded after service to YouTube. There's a new UUFC lunch group that's forming. It's a women's lunch group for the fellowship, forming a new group to encourage camaraderie, fun, support, and fellowship. The group will be meeting each month beginning at noon on January 13th at Sunnyside Cafe in Clemson. See the weekly connection for how to RSVP by January 9th. Then there's an announcement for an Immigration Bridges workshop. A free workshop on Thursday, January 22nd, from 6 to 8 p.m. We'll host community experts on immigration issues to better understand the differences that separate us. Leo, you want to raise your hand? If you want more information, you can talk to Leo about this, and you can see the weekly connection to register. Thank you, Leo. Then this Thursday, January 8th at 6 p.m., at the Clemson Central Library, the Pickens County Library Board meeting, will be choosing new board members. It's an important meeting. Michael Cole, raise your hand. Michael's got information on that. So a lot of this is found on the back of the announcements. You will see in the top right corner, yes, we have changed into a new year. But Paula, thank you for pointing this out. It says 2025. We know it's 2026. Paula caught it. And on the back of it, I want to point out at the top the volunteers who make our Sunday happen. Specifically, safety responder, says Kathy Crain. No, I double booked. So I want to greatly appreciate Meg Williamson, who is sitting out there with the yellow vest on as safety responder. This is, I think, an underappreciated position. If you would like more information and can help us out with this, we'd love to have you serve as a safety responder when you are interested and available. Thank you. Reverend Holly.
Thank you. Before I share our opening words, I also want to ask if people got pencils to go with their paper or something to write with, and if we didn't get those handed out, if that could get passed around as we get service started. Yes. So, I offer these as our opening words and call to worship this morning. This is the season of endings and beginnings, when the small signs of dawn pierce through a night and something new is born. But first comes the waiting. First come the lessons of endings and beginnings, the presence of life, the sheltering spirit of love, grieves with these sweeping up debris of loss, waits with those who restlessly reach out for change, grants us courage in the night to guard each other's dreams for this holy, wondrous universe. Grant us, O universe, unfolding in mystery, a sense of your timing. May we loosen our grip on that which does not serve us, leaving behind that which we have outworn and outgrown. Teach us the lessons of beginnings. Remind us that such waitings and endings may be a starting place, a planting of seeds which bring the birth that is ready to be born, something right and just and different, a new song, a deeper relationship, a fuller love in the fullness of time. Come, let us worship together this morning. And in the spirit of worship, I invite you to rise in body, mind, or spirit, wherever you are, as you're comfortable, to sing number 38, Morning Has Broken.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Matilda to come up and light our chalice for us, please.
Okay, Ave's also coming.
Ave, come on up if you like. Thank you for accompanying your sister Matilda. And then you can ask Ave to blow that out. Thank you. Please join us in the reading of this fellowship's affirmation, which is in the order of service. We gather together in a spirit of love with justice as our guide. Thank you. This is our chosen covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth with freedom, and to care for one another. Karen.
Happy New Year. You know, I have in our collection a lot of books about a lot of different New Year's traditions. Chinese New Year, Persian New Year, Jewish New Year. But you know what? There aren't very many books about January 1st. Oddly, because we make a big deal of it here in this country. So here's one of the few that I know of that are about January 1st New Year's traditions. So our story this morning is Squirrel's New Year's Resolution by Pat Miller, illustrated by Kathy Ember. Squirrel pinned up her brand new Nut of the Month calendar. It's January 1st, the radio said, a great day to make a resolution. Make a resolution, wondered Squirrel. How do you do that? Bear might know. She went to see Bear at the Lonewood Library. Happy New Year, he said. Same to you, Bear. Do you know how to make a resolution? Is it like making a snack? Bear laughed. Resolutions are more important than snacks. More important than snacks, said Squirrel. What is a resolution? A resolution is a promise you make to yourself to be better or to help others, Bear said. When we begin a new year, we make a fresh start. Wow, did you make a resolution? Asked Squirrel. I did, Bear answered. I resolved to teach others how to read. I'm going to teach Skunk as soon as she gets well. Oh no, Skunk is still sick, Squirrel thought, as she hurried to Skunk's house for a visit. She forgot all about making a resolution. Skunk was sick of being sick. I'm stuck in bed until Dr. Owl says I'm better, said Skunk. I would rather be learning to read. That's my New Year's resolution. Squirrel knew how to cheer up her friend. She hid at the foot of the bed. She popped up and shouted, "Boo!" Skunk giggled. Hide and skunk was her favorite game. Squirrel popped up again. Boo! And again. Boo! By now, Skunk was laughing hard. Just then, Dr. Owl came by. Skunk, I can tell by your laughter that you are feeling much better, he said. Now you can visit Bear. Just make sure to have a healthy lunch first. Lunch, thought Squirrel. She headed toward the hidey hole diner. Maybe somebody there can help me with my resolution. On her way, she met Mole and Turtle. Mole was holding a map close to his nose. What are you doing? Asked Squirrel. Turtle and I resolved to plant a garden, said Mole, but I can't find a good place to dig with all these trees. Wait here, said Squirrel. She dashed up an oak tree and looked down. She spied Wildcat Creek and on its bank a perfect place for a garden. Squirrel scampered down and led Mole and Turtle through the woods to the edge of the creek. She helped them stake out string for the borders of the garden. Thanks, Squirrel. I will start digging right after lunch, said Mole. Lunch, thought Squirrel, and she rushed away. She still hadn't thought of a resolution. At the diner, Squirrel chose a stool next to Porcupine. He looked grumpy. What's wrong? Asked Squirrel. I resolved to be less grumpy, so I'm trying to laugh more, but I can't think of anything funny. I can help you think of something funny, like why did the squirrel run back and forth across the road? I don't know, why? Asked Porcupine. Because she was nuts, laughed Squirrel. Porcupine laughed too. I get it. That reminds me. What's striped and bouncy? Tell me, giggled Squirrel. Skunk on a trampoline, said Porcupine. Late night TV, they're not. Squirrel laughed herself right off the stool. Porcupine said, that's a good one. I better write these down. Off he went to find paper and pencil. Squirrel felt left out. Porcupine has a resolution. So do Bear and Skunk and Mole and Turtle. I'm the only animal in the forest who hasn't made a New Year's resolution. Rabbit came to take Squirrel's order. Would you like to try my New Year's special? Asked Rabbit. Sure, said Squirrel. Maybe it will help me make a resolution. I wish I knew how. Think about a way to improve yourself, or a way to use what you're good at to help others, said Rabbit. Squirrel ate her lunch special and thought hard. Just then, Skunk came in. I need a healthy lunch. Thanks to Squirrel, I'm feeling much better. Sit with me, Skunk, Bear called. I see you brought our first book. Turtle and Mole came in next. What do you have for two thirsty animals who just started a garden, said Mole. Squirrel found a perfect place for it, said Turtle. Porcupine hurried in. Do you know why Bear said caw, caw? Before anyone could answer, Porcupine said, he was learning a new language. All the animals laughed. I didn't know you were so funny, said Mole. Me either, said Porcupine. Squirrel got me started. Rabbit said to Squirrel, you're doing a good job on your resolution. I didn't know I had one, said Squirrel. Your actions are better than words. It looks like you resolve to help someone every day, said Rabbit. Really? Really, asked Squirrel. I did it. I made my very first resolution. Hooray for Squirrel, shouted all the animals. It was going to be a very happy New Year.
Thank you, Karen. We collect an offering in order to give toward the financial vitality of this community. Also, 25% of the undesignated collection each week goes to an organization in the local community with whom we partner. For the month of January, we are partnering with Clemson Child Development Center. Each week, we also collect non-perishable food for the Clemson Community Cares Food Bank. You may also give by going to the UUFC website and using the donate button. There you will see options for paying for your pledge and donating toward the organizations with whom we partner. Thank you for your generosity. Thanks to the kiddos for picking up the food.
Every week, we take some time to share our joys and our sorrows, those things that we celebrate in life and those that cause our hearts to ache. And as I share each one of the joys and sorrows shared today, I've asked Kathy to place a stone in this bowl, this vessel representing our shared community. Have a joy from Alan Goldsmith that if you haven't done so already, please watch as much of you as you can of Mandani's inauguration in New York City mayor. In ways large and small, it presented an America that we all aspire to, an inspiring and uplifting vision that can serve us well in the dark days ahead. To paraphrase a classic poet chant, this is what democracy looks like. Have a joy, for Carol's friends. Carol Ward is enjoying receiving company at Clemson Downs Medical Center. And have a sorrow for Marissa Crooks. A good friend of hers passed away in a car accident on New Year's Eve morning. His name was Will Hayes. And have a concern from Kathy and expressing, may there be peace and reason prevail in light of the lack of respect for international law. And place another stone that does not represent all that has been lost, but the loss of life in all of the violent conflicts across the globe. And one final stone for any joys and sorrows that remain unspoken this morning. Thank you. And take just a moment of silence, of transition. Now, excuse me. Now our children are invited to go with Karen and Meg to their RE spaces and for you to join in singing Go Now in Peace.
I'd like to share a reading called Next Year's Words by Tim Atkins. New Year's is without a doubt the most meaningful winter holiday for me. As a religious humanist, none of the other winter holidays have ever really called to me. But to me, there's something almost magical about the chance for a fresh start, a new beginning, the start of a new chapter. One of my most treasured New Year's traditions is coming up with a word for the year, a single word that I want to be the theme for my entire year. I started this practice 5 years ago, and it's changed my life. It becomes a mantra I meditate on throughout the year. When I'm questioning what's the right thing to do, I will look at my word for the year for guidance. In 2017, my word was embrace. In 2018, my word was explore. In 2019, my word was delight. I was, putting it kindly, a stressed out mess this time last year. I knew I needed to put myself first, more, and reconnect with basic pleasures in life. So I went with delight as a way to help me be more mindful about finding joy and beauty in the everyday. I've decided on my word for 2020, which is when this happened, authenticity. I want to work more at being authentic to all parts of who I am and focus on living a unified life. As a religious humanist, I also find it somewhat comforting to have this solid rock for my year. It forces me to focus in on a value I want to live my life around and meditate on the value throughout the year. It forces me to put my values into practice, something we all could do a little more. When I look back on my last few years, instead of reflecting back on the years in terms of usually negative events, I reflect on them in terms of values and amazing things I did that year to embody that value.
Thank you, Kathy. You might have noticed that the bowl we use for water communion, the altar this morning. And in a few minutes, you'll be invited to write something on the white paper. Not yet, but in a moment, as we have a meditation, something that you want to let go of. Whether it's a doodle or a word, spelled right or not, mine is not. But that's okay, it's gonna dissolve. And then on the green paper, we'll write a word that can be our mantra, our intention going forward into the new year. So I want to offer a bit of a guided meditation for you to think on these things for a moment. And then after that meditation, we'll move into singing the meditation on breathing for a few times through. And then we'll move into the ritual where you come forward to drop your dissolving paper. And I want to lift up something that I've noticed in past years. If you stand there for a moment and watch the paper begin to dissolve, sometimes the word separates from the paper and floats there for just a second before it too dissolves. What? It just does. Maybe if you lay it flat, I don't know. The question was, how do you make that happen? Magic. That's the magic of dissolving paper. So I want to invite you into a space of meditation, relaxing, settling into your bodies in ways that are comfortable for you. Perhaps closing your eyes or relaxing your gaze. Release and relax your shoulders. Maybe move your jaw, getting settled in. Feel the connection to the ground through your feet, through the chair where you sit. And breathe in. And hold it as you breathe in for a moment. And then when you breathe out, let it make a sound, whether it's quiet or loud, maybe a whoosh out. Allow your breath to flow naturally in and out, paying attention to how it feels in your body as your belly expands and contracts with each breath. That breath that is life-giving as it moves throughout your body, oxygenating your blood as it moves to your extremities. Continue to follow your breath, but check in with your body. Is there something that is causing you to feel depleted? Something that might be holding you back? As you breathe out, visualize releasing that which is holding you back, that which you would like to let go of from this past year. This is what in a moment you'll write down on your dissolving paper. Take a few more breaths as you think about what it is you wish to let go of. And take a moment to shift your intention. With every inhale, envision what you would like to take with you into this new year. What it is that you need to nourish your own spirit. What ways you can invite that into your life as you continue to breathe in and out. Visualize the energy that you need to meet those. On each inhale, bring into your body that which brings you life, that which you can carry forward as a mantra, as an intention this year. That you can return to throughout the year, taking a moment as you need it to breathe in and out and remember that word. I invite you to return to the present as you are ready to do so, perhaps moving your body or slowly opening your eyes. And in the next few moments, I invite you to write on your dissolving paper that which you wish to let go of, and on your green paper that which is your word of mantra or intention this year. And as you begin writing that, we will sing the meditation on breathing a few times through, and the words will be on the screen. some of you have been here when we've done rituals before in which we move around the room. So I'm going to ask this side of the room to move forward first and place your dissolving paper in the bowl, and then circle back down and back up to your seats. And as they finish, the middle section will go, and then this section will be last. Paper. It's the one that dissolves. In this time of ritual with a prayer for this new year, Let this year be a clean slate for new beginnings. I pray for stamina to finish the things left uncompleted, to call the people I neglected last year. I pray for courage to rally in the cause for peace and justice, to speak out in support when others remain silent. I pray for empathy. I pray for empathy to better understand the pain and suffering of others, to continue engaging heart to heart. I pray for patience when seeking resolutions to problems, when seeking new beginnings after an ending. I pray for creativity in seeking new meaning in service, engaging others in service to the beloved community. I pray for peace. I pray for peace between friends and families, between communities and countries. All these things I pray for in this time of beginning, in this new year. I picked this prayer before yesterday morning and felt the need to emphasize the prayer for peace. My heart breaks for those that cannot be saved. We live in a world where there is violence and hatred between communities, between countries. I pray for peace, and yet my heart breaks. Hearing the news yesterday morning that the United States attacked Venezuela with the intention of capturing the president, and then continued to outright say that it was for access to resources. He didn't even try to sugarcoat it as something else. Wanting to take over and put someone else in power that he likes better. I wrestled with whether or not to bring this up today, because I'm sure we've all heard about it on the news. And I think it's a disservice if I don't bring it up. Especially as we talk about moving into a new year, moving into intentions and words that can serve as a mantra in the new year. This attack did not have the approval of Congress and is in breach of international law. If we cared about drugs, if it was for care of people, because Venezuela's president wasn't a good guy. That is very true. It's not a bad thing that he would be removed from power, but this was not the way to do it. If we actually cared about people, then we would be doing more for Palestine and the Ukraine and other places in the world that are facing violence and genocide, but propping up other authoritarian regimes that are friends seems to be fine. And I want to be clear that the conflict between Palestine and Israel has been going on for decades. And it isn't Jewish people. It is the Israeli state. Jewish people have been protesting what is going on. We sit by as human suffering continues to happen while we send weapons of destruction to countries that are in need of basic resources like medical aid and food and water. If we cared about the deaths of innocent civilians, we would be standing up to these regimes as well as what is going on in our own country. This attack on Venezuela is also a distraction tactic to what is happening here in our own country, the ICE raids that are taking people from their homes, that are going through the process and even at the courts to do their paperwork the way they need to do it. People's lives are in danger both here in our country and abroad. I debated so much on whether to talk about this or not because it is a heavy topic. I engaged with colleagues discussing it online. I called my friend Ian and we had a long conversation. I waited for a statement from the UUA, which came late yesterday afternoon. And I want to share a portion of that. This is the last paragraph of a longer statement. It says, as the current administration continues to consolidate power, violate domestic and international law, and trample the human rights of people both in the U.S. and abroad, we pray for the safety of all who are in harm's way. The people of Venezuela have the right, as all people do, to safety and self-determination. We urge our elected officials and the courts to exercise definitive moral leadership to swiftly curtail these abuses of power and prevent this administration from causing further loss of life and violations of international law. We raise our voices and pledge our act of solidarity along with all people of faith and conscience who will, in the coming days and weeks, put values into action in the pursuit of peace, justice, and freedom for all of our neighbors at home and around the world. I imagine some of you may be wrestling with similar feelings today that I have wrestled with. I asked you earlier to write a word down, and I wanted that to be the focus of the service today. I still wanted you to have time to think about it and write something down that you can carry with you as a mantra. Because in the midst of all that is violent in this world, we need something to hold on to. We need something to return to. And y'all had a shorter time than I did to think about your word. I thought about mine too long and changed it 2 times. But they're all connected, and I want to tell you how they're connected. My first word was connection. And then I realized, y'all might have picked up on this, that I've been talking about connection and community a lot this past year. I know it's something that's been important to me, and maybe that was last year's word. Not that it needs to go away, but maybe I've already used that word without knowing it. And I didn't want to repeat it. So then I thought for a little while longer about the word peace, about protecting my peace, about protecting the peace of others in the midst of all that is going on. Have any of you felt overwhelmed? Peace seemed like a great idea because I desperately want peace. Peace between countries, peace between communities. Peace between communities that are attacking one another, that are hurting my neighbors. And I mean neighbors as a global sense, not just the person who lives next door. I want my neighbors to feel safe and at peace in their own homes. There are so many that are not feeling that right now in the world. And then yesterday, I settled on a word that I felt like encompasses both connection and peace. It also happens to be the theme for our January Soul Matters. Soul Matters theme is practicing resistance. Resistance is my word. Resistance that requires connection and action amongst a group of people, because what I can do alone as an individual is just a drop in the bucket. Practicing resistance is also about working towards liberation and justice, and those are necessary for peace. As a minister and as a person of faith, I feel compelled to continue the work of resistance in the face of the violence that is happening in the world, to defy the hatred and anger that happens around us. And as I was writing, I came to think about these words again by someone that y'all have probably heard me quote before if you've been around for a little while, Edward Everett Hale. In the Gray Hymnal, number 457, I came across this early in my time as a Unitarian Universalist, and it's kind of a mantra. I have part of it as a magnet on my refrigerator. It says, I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. None of us can do everything, but we can respond. I know so many of you show up in various different ways, and it's hard to continue doing so, but it's necessary. And I say all of this not as a reason for you to change your words. I hope that they have meaning, that you will continue to carry with you. I want these to be a touchstone that we can return to week after week, month after month, that can guide us through both the joyful times and the times of heartache. My prayer continues to be for peace, But peace must embody justice and liberation, otherwise, it's empty. Peace for just the sake of peace doesn't fix all of May we resist. May it be so. May we make it so. And blessed be. Rise in body, mind, or spirit, wherever you are, to join in singing number 123, Spirit of Life. The words that I share each week as we extinguish the chalice feel even more fitting for this morning. May you go in peace and return in love.